Welcome to the Run Strong Run podcast, where I amplify inspiring voices from the back of the pack and loudly proclaim all runners count. Without further ado, here's this week's inspiring runner. Before we dive into this week's episode of the Run Strong Run podcast, I wanted to add a little note that this podcast was recorded in November of 2025, and I was supposed to show up again to the Napa Valley Marathon as the 5-hour, 50-minute marathon pacer. Unfortunately, due to some family circumstances, I was not able to attend this year's 2026 Napa Valley Marathon. I'm publishing this episode the weekend of the Napa Valley Marathon, so without further ado, let's dive into this week's episode. I say this every week, but it's so true. I'm so excited to have on the podcast today a mother-daughter dynamic duo that I had the pleasure of meeting and running with in March of 2025 at the Napa Valley Marathon. And so without further ado, welcome Sharon and Cia, mother-daughter dynamic duo, to the Run Strong Run podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Yes, so excited.
Now, Sharon, I think it was not your first marathon, but Cia, it was your first. And Sharon, it'd been a while since you did a marathon, right? Remind me kind of your marathon history.
15 years ago, I did the Nike, 15 or 16, the Nike Women's Marathon in San Francisco. It seems to be like a California thing I do. So it was a while. And Cia was running, so I asked her if she wanted to do the Napa. And originally we signed up for the half.
Yes.
And then
I think I was like, if we're flying all the way to California, might as well do a full. So that's what we ended up doing.
Yeah.
I love that, because remind me, where's home for you?
New Hampshire, and I live in Vermont.
Yeah. So we're in Vermont right now.
Yeah.
So yeah. I feel like I need a commitment, like a heavy duty commitment to do like a marathon, like book a hotel and there's no backing out. Book a hotel and it's far and I tell everybody I'm
Locked in.
Yeah.
I love that. And so if you're listening and you sometimes sign up for races that are close by and you don't show up or you back out, maybe that's what you need to do. You need to go from coast to coast, book your hotel, tell everyone you're doing it. And so then you have to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's more of a commitment.
Yeah.
And a little vacation too, somewhere fun, warmer. Yeah. The training was tough for us though, because of the snow. We do like a series. Well, we did it last winter. It's called Freezy Cheeks. And literally one of the runs, we couldn't even run because it was so icy and snowy. So we had to do a lot of treadmill. Cia didn't do treadmill training because she despises the treadmill, but I weirdly like the treadmill.
Yeah, I mean, it's so beyond my comprehension to live on the East Coast, because I am a California girl, have been some places here and there, but mostly here in California. So I've never had to train in snow because so here we are at the time of this recording, it's November. Like, what was today's high outside for you?
Today was warmer than normal and it was 45.
Yeah. No snow yet. Well, you had a little bit of snow.
There's some snow in Vermont. I'm up high in Vermont. I'm close to Canada. So it gets snowy and cold quick.
Yeah. So we do the Freezy Cheeks. It's like a series of 3 5Ks.
Yep.
And
it's funny. It's fun.
Yeah. It's fun after.
Yeah.
After you do it.
So how was that to marathon train? Oh, let me back up. Have you always been a runner? Like, what made you say Napa Valley Marathon 2025, we're doing this? I mean,
I signed up for a half marathon for October of 2024, and that was my first big race. And I think I just started doing it because I had just moved to Vermont in 2023, and my boyfriend is very active. And so I needed to find my own ways to get active and go outside more. And so I just started running because it can be quick, it can be long, you can make it however you want to make it, and walk, run. So I started doing that. She's ran forever, and it's always been, I think, a stress relief for her. So I knew it probably would be for me. So once I did my half, I think we had signed up for the full either around that time or a little bit before.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of a spontaneous, fun idea.
And I'm like a list maker. I need a chart. I need a schedule. I need to count how many runs. I need to label my electrolytes. So I'm very like, once I commit, I need to check the boxes.
Yeah.
And you're the opposite.
Yes.
You're just like.
So training for us was different, obviously for two different people, but we both figured it out and it was fun.
But when we did run the little 5Ks and we'd run together, it was a mess.
We trained differently.
I was doing my walk run, and my walk was like a jog pace, a slow jog, because I'm so tall and I have a big stride. So that's why we were kind of like, what are we going to do for this marathon?
Yeah, because we
And
had
then-
different paces and different setups
And
for
then when we
training.
saw you, we were like, we heard about you, the pacing, and then we were like, we need to find
Find
out
her.
more. So that's when we were so excited to meet you. And we're like, we went home that night and we're like, at the
Everything's gonna be okay.
expo, we're like, we're going to be okay. So that and we were.
Yeah.
I mean, you were like a godsend, honestly. So it
Well,
worked out.
I love hearing that. And I think that's one of the things that I really love about when a pace team is at an expo. So to kind of do exactly what I helped to do for you two is to calm your nerves and let
Yes.
you kind of get some rest that night, the night before the marathon, and to tell you like everything's going to be okay. Here's a plan for tomorrow.
Yes.
And like here's the run walk intervals and everything. And I know it's hard because like maybe that's not exactly what you used in training. So, and in fact, how was that for you? Because I don't think my same intervals are what you did in your training. So was that
Yeah.
difficult to change it up on the spot on race day?
Not for me. The way I kind of train is I do a slower pace, but I try to run consistently, but it's a slow pace and it keeps me comfortable and like happy and I can enjoy my run. And she would do the walk run intervals. And so I tried it a couple times and I liked it. For the marathon, I was excited to do it because I had not done a marathon before and I knew, and also just having someone like you to keep like an eye on and to stay around kept me focused on not running. It was like
Right.
we were able to talk with you and like enjoy our run and just kind of you would set the pace so we wouldn't really have to worry.
Yeah.
That helped and that was just nice to.
And you had a lot of like, you broke it down into 3 sections and you were like mile 17, single digits. And like my mind was blown. I was like, oh my God, she's right. Like things just get magnified so much when you're running, where you're so like, it's such a huge thing, like what you've been preparing for.
Yeah.
And then you're there in it and it's like, you don't know what to do. And then we have somebody like you who's like, okay, single digits from here. And I'm like, oh my God. And then we did a video and Cia was like having us hold up how many miles. And it's like, that's all I kept thinking about. I'm like, okay, this is going to be mile. I'm going to hold up these fingers.
Yeah.
And it was just like the silliest things
To keep
got
you
through it.
Yeah.
So that was another weird thing that I didn't know would happened, so it's fun.
But I think that's such a good point. Like I know for myself when I'm running a race and not pacing a race, like I use pacers too, because it's so nice to like just kind of go with someone, trust someone, not have to be worried about like your pace. Are you going out too fast? Like checking your watch, like checking your pace, and just something to keep your mind off of also the discomfort, because I'm sure both of you would agree that it wasn't the easiest thing. And there were, I mean, even for myself, like with running so many marathons, there's no marathon that's easy. And there definitely comes a point where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to sit down. Like I'm ready for that finish line. But it's still so amazing. And I love that you brought up 2 miles 17, because everyone knows, actually I got this from a fellow pacer friend who actually paced me. And that's where I got this mile 17 from. But I think it helps to break up those final like 9 miles to kind of reshift your mind, because around mile like 17, 18 to 20, that's where like the infamous wall comes up. And it just kind of helps you to kind of break through mentally that wall. And I love that you two were counting down on your fingers, taking those cute videos.
We got after a while. And then the mile 17, what was the bus?
Yeah, wherever, how there's the bus and you either make it past the bus or you get on the bus.
That was a big worry of
we just were like, we just don't want to get on the bus. That was our goal for the marathon.
Yeah.
And when we passed the bus, that was another moment where we perked back up kind of. We were like, okay, we made it.
And then you kind of went off at the end. Like,
well, yeah, I at the very end after the 2, it kind of got hard, but to walking for me, like to go from walking to running. And so at the very end, I kind of looked around and I was like, everybody, I think I'm going to keep running. I was like, we'll see how it goes. And I did, but it was only a mile, even though I had just ran 25, but it was only that last mile push where I was like, okay, I think I'm going to keep running.
Yeah, I was proud of her. It was fun.
Well, and honestly, as a pacer, that's what I always recommend, is that towards the end, like even, a mile 23, like if you're feeling good, you're feeling strong, like run ahead. That's what I love to do, is to cross the finish line by myself, because it means that the people in my pace group, they have finished ahead of me, finished strong, and that's what I love.
Yeah.
And so, Sharon, I think you kind of already touched upon it, but I'm going to ask you again, what does running like mean to you? Why do you love running so much?
I love it because it's like such a simple thing to do. Like you don't need much. You need sneakers. I like having my treadmill at home because it's convenient and I can just hop in no matter what the weather is. It's just something, it's a huge stress relief to me. Like if I just do 2 miles or even a mile, like my whole mindset is different. And it just always gave me that like clarity. And if I was in a bad mood or I was just upset, I'd just hop on the treadmill and in 25 minutes, I'd be a different person.
It's true. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we call each other and we can tell we're in a mood. And I'm like, Mom, I think you got to go run out a mile or two.
And that would make me so mad, but I knew she was.
And then she runs and then she calls me and she sounds like
she'll be like your TOV. And I'm like, oh my God.
TOV. I say TOV. Tone of voice. Her tone of voice sounds sad. And I say, you sound sad.
Yeah. But I like the fact that they know. And I think she's kind of embraced that. Like she runs now. So it's like I ran when they were younger. When I needed 20 minutes, I'd be like, just leave me alone for 20 minutes. And I'd go to my sunroom and it had like glass doors and they'd get in a fight and I'd see them coming up on like running into the sunroom. And I would just scream. I'd be like, 5 more minutes, and zip back out.
Yeah.
But it's like they see, like, instead of, going to a bar, getting a drink, you're going for a run. And that they grasped it and they got it. And that makes me really proud that they're doing it now. So it's good.
I love that so much. And that's what I hope that, because my 2 young ones are 4 and almost 7. And that's what I hope that they see, that is my way that I also, cope with stress or when I have a not such a nice TOV, tone of voice, that they can say,
they'll tell you.
Yeah.
So they can say, Mommy, I think you need to go for a run. And I would love to someday run a marathon with them. I actually have my 2 older bonus kids too, a 23-year-old daughter and a 20-year-old son. And so the 23-year-old daughter, when she was in middle school, we did quite a few 5Ks together and a color run, and we had lots of fun there. And so it was so special to get to see you two, mother-daughter, like sharing in this experience together, because there's nothing quite like to bond 2 people even closer together than 26.2 miles together.
Yeah. Yes, in many ways. Just one more thing I want to add about her running. I feel like my sister and I always talk about too, how we always saw our mom working out, running, not as something to keep her like skinnier or fit, but it was always something she would do to feel better. And so I think that rubbed off on my sister and I in a way where we were like, we work out and run or do a workout class to feel better. It was never about like physical appearance, or it never caused stress on us in a way. It would always be a stress relief instead of a stressor to work out. And I think that was because of her.
Thank you.
I think that's so important too, because body image is important for both males and females, but I think especially for females, it's a touchy subject and one I know I've struggled with over the course of my lifetime, but that's what I want also my girls to see. And I love that you've seen that, Cia, and your mom. I want my girls to see, like, I don't work out, I don't go to the gym, I don't run because I hate my body or I'm punishing my body or I want to change my body. I'm doing it to celebrate what my body can do. And I think that's why too, maybe I'm addicted to marathons, because I think just every single time it's like just a celebration. It's hard, it's tough, it's challenging, but every time you make it to that finish line, it like just further cements in your mind, like, I can do hard things. Like, look what I just did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you kind of touched upon this too, is I look at like a race date. Like I used to be like, oh my God, this is so scary. But then I'm like, you know what? It's like, somebody mentioned it. It's like a celebration of your training. It's not like a race to race and
stress about.
This is where you've come, and this is a day for you to go
celebrate
and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I also like, when we're in a 5:50 pace, we joke we got like the most money out of
most for our money, the bang for our buck.
Yeah. So we paid the fee, but we had the most hours running. So we
got to take in the scenes and like, and of course it was still tough. Like it was still anything is tough. Like any 26-mile run is going to be tough.
But it was gorgeous.
But you we just had fun with it.
Lot.
Yeah. Yeah. You do see a lot.
And I was thinking too, on the plane ride over, it was like 5.5 hours. And I thought, I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be running more than the plane ride.
Yeah.
So it's like certain things you can't think about and other things, and that's where you come in. Like you say things and your mind goes to good places instead of like things you shouldn't really be
Thinking
about running.
But that is crazy to think about, just like what you said about the plane ride, 5.5 hours in the plane. And sometimes I can feel like, oh my goodness, this is so long. Like I'm ready to be off this plane. But that you were running, moving forward for 5 hours, 50 minutes, and that's not even taking into consideration the amount of time in the starting line already on your feet.
Yep.
So really we are on our feet for 7+ hours, probably, because by the time you even sit down after the finish line, that's almost like a full day work. And that's what I like to tell people. Like if you're going to be working for 7 hours, like you're going to want multiple breaks, you're going to want like a lunch, like you're probably going to want to sit down. You're not going to be on your feet that whole time. I know there are professions who they are on their feet the whole time, but a lot of people are not. And I think that's just amazing to remember that.
Yes.
There are some people on my social pages who will say, oh, a 6-hour marathon, a 5-hour, 50-minute marathon is easy, or that's walking the whole time, or anyone can do that. So what would you say to those people?
I'd say, have you done one?
And just like, it could be for them,
Right.
but it's not for everybody. And you're still doing a marathon. You're having fun with it, and you should be proud of whatever you're able to do.
Right.
And if you're able to do 26 miles, no matter what pace you're doing it at, as long as you're happy with what you're doing and confident and feel good, or feel as good as you can when running a marathon, I think like it's going to be fun. Just
you're covering a lot of ground.
Yeah.
You're enjoying nature.
I'm spending 5 hours and 50 minutes on my feet moving. So I'm lucky to be doing that. And I think that's what I would say. I'm lucky to move for 5 hours and 50 minutes.
We loved it.
Yeah.
Well, we loved it. Like I said, after.
Well, hey, I hear a little birdie told me that you guys loved it so much that you're actually signed up for marathon number 2.
Yeah. We're signed up for marathon number 2. We're doing the Vermont Marathon.
Right. Vermont City Marathon.
In May.
We're going back to Napa for the half.
Yes.
So in March, I will get to see you again because you're coming back for the half marathon.
Yes.
Awesome. Can't wait to see you two again in person. And
Absolutely.
then in May, you are doing Vermont City Marathon.
Yes. Yep. Which will be fun. I'm excited.
Yes.
I ran a lot of it because it's where I live, but I run a big part of the route often. So it'll be fun to bring her along and do it together. But
and what's your plan for training? Are you going to approach training differently than Napa Valley Marathon, or?
Yes, definitely. I think Napa Valley was a good way for me to see how I should adjust. But I'm going to use a running app. I'm going to use Runna. I originally we both found some training plans originally online and printed them out. I was not very good at sticking with it. She was, but again, this is nice because it's in May, so I have a little more time in the warmth to train. I think I'm going to hop on the treadmill when I need to this time instead of avoiding it. Yeah. So that's how I'm going to approach it. And I'm excited to train this time because I think I did not so great training with Napa, and I still succeeded and I still had fun and I still did it. But I'm excited to see how it changes my marathon with actually training well and consistently. So I'm excited for that. And I think that will help me and encourage me to train, is being excited to see the outcome compared to my first marathon.
And I'll print my chart and check it.
Yeah, that's how she's happy with it like that.
Yeah.
I love it, but both ways get you to where you want to be. And for 26.2 at Vermont City full marathon, now are you guys planning on running the whole thing together again?
I think,
she's speedy. She's speedy. I just do it. I do it to do it and get it done. And I want to challenge myself, but I don't want to hurt myself. I want to enjoy it. She's a lot quicker. Obviously she's younger. She's pretty quick.
I wouldn't say quick, but I don't know. It was also, I liked doing Napa together because it was just fun to say, we finished together, we ran it together, and we were together the whole time. And that was fun. Yeah. And it kept us distracted. And also talking to you kept us very distracted. Like I was saying, when I talked to people about it, for the first half to 16 miles, it was hurting, or not hurting, just feeling my body. Yeah. And I felt very distracted until
I think we were euphoric.
I felt, and it was great. We got to the half marathon point and I was like,
I know, this is pretty good.
This is awesome.
It definitely knows what she's doing.
Yeah. So it is nice to have a buddy and run with them for a good period of the marathon
And
because
the group was nice. Like you were phenomenal. Like you met different personalities, different people.
Yeah.
And that was also, you know,
encouraging.
distracting and nice,
Mhm.
you know? So
Yeah.
that was great.
So hoping for something similar for the Vermont City where either we run together for a good portion of it or make friends along the way and chat. And
She'll be on her second loop and I'll still be on my
No,
first.
that's fine.
She'll pass me.
So is it a 2-looped course or?
Yeah. So it's 2 half marathons, not a straight line like it was with Napa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. And going back, I know you mentioned about the bus. Napa Valley Marathon is a unique race because it is point to point, but they do have that one cutoff. And I'm forgetting what mile it is, but like 20, 21, something like that. 2020.
122, something like that. We knew we could have told you the exact point back then because we were so nervous about it.
But before that, what I've seen them do now in 2 years in a row, and I don't remember if you saw this, but they would pick up some runners, and runners actually had the option of being transported a little bit ahead on the course, dropped off, and continuing on the course.
Yeah.
What's your feeling on that of having some runners who fell back behind us? Because Napa holds a pretty strict like 6-hour cutoff. Again, that cutoff point is like mile 20 to 22 or something. You have to reach that point at a certain time, and if you don't, you're put on a bus and transported to the finish line. So they want to move people along this main road. I'm not going to know the exact name of the road, but of the course, but they're going to want to move you ahead. So we actually had official vehicles like behind us on our tails for a little bit because they are monitoring for people like falling behind us. So if you are in that back of the pack runner and that brings you a lot of anxiety, maybe Napa Valley is not the best one for you. And I know it's difficult for me because I'm often in that position as a 5:50 pacer or a 6-hour pacer. I know that the runners around can sometimes feel anxiety with that. But what's your feeling of these people being transported ahead, dropped off, and continuing on the course?
I think I didn't know about that until we were running. And I think since we were running with so many of those people who may have been transferred up further, I was happy because I liked seeing them again. And I was like, oh, I'm glad to see them continuing and like pushing forward. It is funky. I've never heard of that, but
I think it kind of got it. Like at first I was like, oh, it's kind of weird. But then I'm like, it's the same kind of thing as if somebody said, oh, a 6-hour marathon doesn't count. Like everything counts.
You're putting in the effort. You're not quitting. You're continuing to push forward, even if it might not be exactly how you wanted it to go. But I was just happy because we were running with so many of them and meeting them. And then maybe they would trickle back and then we'd see them again and we'd be like, oh my gosh, so happy to see you again.
So it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they kept trying and kept pushing forward.
And maybe the next year they'll be like, I don't want to get picked up by that vehicle. Like we didn't want to get picked up from the
bus. Yes. And also with like the anxiety of those cars being right behind you, I thought I would be more nervous about that than I was. But I think being with a pacer and keeping you in vision, I was like, okay, yes, I see the cars, but I also see Steph and I'm like, I could see you. So I was like, okay, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
So I just didn't let those cars get to me because I still knew I was with the pace group. I knew it was going to be okay.
You're a professional.
Yeah. You're like, she's a professional. Or
keep us in line.
Yeah.
And you did.
Well, thank you so much for your kind words. I love doing what I do, pacing marathons. It's like, I love pacing so much more than racing because right now, this moment in life, I don't really have much of a desire to go out and try to PR or run a marathon myself. It's much more fun to like live vicariously through these like first time marathoners or meeting people like yourself, you mother-daughter duo on course. Or if you remember too, in Napa Valley, there was even a guy in our group who like most he ran was like 6 miles or something before that day and then decided to show up and do 26.2. Like those like crazy stories of these people. It's just, you're right. It's so much fun to get a group. And I think that's what people need to know about like the running community is it is like a community-based sport, like the people that you meet or the people that you see again and again. And like there's again, just nothing like bonding over 26.2 miles.
Yeah.
Well, even in the morning when we went for the bus, that woman we met in the lobby.
Yeah.
She was probably in her late 70s.
Yeah, 70s.
So she's sitting there and she looks at us.
It was funny.
She goes, oh, are you girls doing the half?
And we're like, no, we're doing the full. But she was very sweet. But she had ran Napa like quite a few times.
Yeah, I want to say like over 50.
Yeah, I was gonna say over 50. I think she had ran it a lot of times.
It was like, we were like, whoa.
We're like, hopefully we'll see you at the end.
I know.
But
And she was fast. And
yeah, we met quite a few people in the hotel lobby waiting to be bussed over. And
we were
everyone,
terrified.
yeah, we were so scared. We were talking to everybody, but everyone was so nice and like just talked to us about the
course.
The course or their training and talked about our training. And another thing about running is how individual it can be, like on your own, or as community based as you want it to be.
Right.
Like sometimes you need to just run and be alone, and sometimes like running the marathon, or there's like run groups. There's a run group here, just to like kind of build the community and encourage each other. So
yeah,
that's what I liked about.
And it keeps us like doing things like
together. Yeah.
So we kind of keep tabs on each other.
Mhm.
If we don't run, we're like, did you run? And it can get like,
But it's good.
but it's also like, I get annoyed if she's like, did you run? And I know I didn't. And it's like, she's waiting for me to run. So it keeps you in check.
Yeah.
And it's less like mother-daughter. It's more kind of like friends. Like I used to do that skiing when they were younger. I'd have them ski every Friday. And it was more like of a friendship more than a mother-daughter.
Mhm.
And this kind of same thing with running. It's like, you're kind of peer-to-peer rather than I'm your mother. You need to, like, sometimes she tells me what to do. And I'm like, okay, you know what? You're right. So it's a different dynamic, but I like it.
It's fun.
I love it so much. I can just tell that you two have definitely bonded over this. To someone who's listening and they are nervous, they want to run a marathon, but they're filled with so much fear of the unknown. To them, it sounds like nearly impossible to do. What advice would you give to that person?
I would say sign up for one. It doesn't matter how soon or how far away it is. Sign up for a marathon and train however long you need to. And don't be worried about your pace too much. Just enjoy your time training. Try not to stress about it. And when you get there, like we've said, just remember it's a celebration of what you've done. And I was so nervous the night before and like the kind of week leading up to it. And I kind of wasn't for a while until like very close to it. I think because I didn't realize, like, I was like, oh my God, I'm actually doing this. And then I started getting nervous. But then I was like, you know what? I'm waking up and I'm going to the marathon and I'm going to let whatever happens. And I'm just going to enjoy it and hope for the best and set my expectations to a reasonable degree and just have fun. And so my advice is just to not let yourself be stressed and try to enjoy it more than you do stress about it, and just let everything be fun. Seriously.
And I think,
and it's easier said than done, but just like reminding yourself, like, I'm doing this for myself to enjoy, not to go crazy about. So.
Right. And I think the most exciting things in your life are the things you're nervous for.
Mhm.
Because if you're not nervous, you don't
care.
doing something a little like spectacular or
Mhm.
different or out of your comfort zone. So almost like embrace the nerves, like, because you're doing something that you're not used to. You're getting out of your comfort zone.
Mhm.
So you should really be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
And it's scary, but the most exciting things in life are something to be a little afraid of,
Mhm.
because it's new and exciting. So I'd say go for it
And
do something far.
do something far.
Commit yourself and tell everybody.
Yeah.
Because I think that helps me anyway.
Yeah. And I always remind myself, nerves just mean you care about it. Like kind of like the excitement thing. Like anytime I get nervous, like for a presentation, work, running, I'm like, I'm nervous because I care and I'm excited to do it. And it's okay to be nervous, but try to let that amp you up to keep going and just have fun.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Thank you both. Now, final question. People have loved hearing your story. They, perhaps it's a mom who's listening and she wants to run a marathon with her daughter, or perhaps it's a daughter and wants to run a marathon with mom. But where can people find you? They want to reach out to you. They want to connect with you. Where can people find you?
I started a little page on Instagram. I called it's Marathon Munchkins, and we just post the different things we do.
Yeah. It's not all running, but it's just workout
Yeah.
stuff and funny encouragement posts.
Yeah. So that's on Instagram.
Yeah. That's
Marathon Munchkins. Love it.
It's funny. It's us and my sister.
Yeah.
So.
And has your sister done a marathon?
No, she's doing the Napa half with us.
Yeah.
So that will be fun. But she's done a couple of races.
Yeah.
But she's
She's on board. She just had a baby.
Yeah.
So it's a little tougher for her to get out, but she enjoys it. She likes it. She's worked out and she does like bar classes and stuff. So that's why we kind of incorporate everything.
I love that. Thank you so much, both of you, for hopping onto the podcast. I look forward to seeing you again in March at the Napa Valley Marathon, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Run Strong Run podcast. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Run Strong Run or through my website at runstrongrun.com. You can support this podcast through a rating, review, or share. Until next time, run strong and run happy.